Game 3 action, Luv Deez, the end. Luv Deez looking for the clean sweep here in the first major Pokemon Unite tournament presented by Victory Road. Kirk, doobsnax, Dubé, Joe, OmniJoe, Bernard. And we are here. And I need to see a lot of action out of the end here to kind of take the taste out of my mouth from that game too.
Yeah, this could be the end for them if they're not able to win this last game. You know, they will lose 3-0 in the best of 5. They're not out of it, of course, but it has been pretty decisive so far for Luv Deez. So we'll see if they can turn it around in this game 3, or we're going to see more of the same here.
Yeah, you know, that low-hanging fruit that you just plucked, Joe, was so low.
Too easy.
Damn near on the ground. Lutano and Indy Bear just rolling up top on the top lane. And hopefully they're going to try and clear these as fast as they did in Game 2, be able to pressure that middle core fish.
Yeah, that seems to be the case so far. Even though they've not already, got the core fish in a few of these early games, they've not made it too difficult for them. So they are actually able to steal a Pom at the very least from the opponents. If you dodge the core fish and you go too aggressively for that, it does open up that backdoor option. They're going to go and have to heal up here, but Apom may be going down for their own end. So both, in each other's yards really, and taking the farm from there.
It's kind of humorous, they both bullied and stole each other's stuff when they could have just taken their own, maybe with a little less static. But now Indy and Lutano are going to push Dexter and Gosu back into their own turret. And, Lutano hungry to get those early points in, just throws in a couple, says I'm happy with that, as Indy Bear and Lutano just kind of roll back to their side. And you got to say that was a pretty coordinated effort. Like, hey, just give me a little bit of support. Let me get in there, get my Aeons in as we wait for the bees to show up. And they are here. Dexter, Gosu, Indy, Lutano, and Carvenin is coming up to carve up those bees as they are able to get up some good experience, and they go straight back down to get those middle core fish, while Lutano goes after the core fish that is safe on their side of the board. And Indy Bear stuck in the middle there, really putting on the pressure on Gosu and Dexter as Lutano buys in right amount of time. Let's see, and takes the A-Palm too. Lutano has been surgical with those power-up punches.
That is what Lucario is all about. And we do see still a lot of scrapping going on here. I imagine no one's going to be going down here. They just have too much health when they're in their own zone. It's too early on in the game for too much decisive damage coming in. But yeah, that is exactly why Lucario is so top tier. He just comes in and steals. That's what he's all about. He doesn't need much time to just literally jump on in, take a huge KO, and they're going to try and double up here on Dexter.
A good attempt there to bully them out, and realizing that Gosu was not with them to give them that support, and maybe looking for an opportunity for a quick little snatch and grab on the corpse of Dexter. Didn't quite pan out. Lutano making it back out, grabbing both berries. They're healed up, and Indy Bear is down south. So now it's just a 1v1, Lutano and Dexter. Dexter kind of getting a little hungry, saying, I can't let you treat me like that for 3 straight games. But Lutano does have the slight experience advantage and is able to make it to 6, get that power-up punch, meteor smash, all sorts of setup, another core fish, and no real rush for Lutano to go downstairs. Let's see if Lutano decides to engage Dexter here or just try and steal the bees again.
Yeah, I think he's pretty happy stealing bees. I think we've seen him do it so far in the best of 3, as we're about to see Dreadnought coming up down bots. That's why you see the Eldegoss making his way downstairs for both teams, actually, and Lucario's continue to scrap it out on their own. They're so efficient at just dealing through mobs, so they can quite easily do it solo, and they know that Dreadnought is such a big objective that it will be a 4-on-4 down bot.
Just squaring up between the two. Gotta love Lutano's use of Bone Rush. They were able to put a lot of offensive pressure, and then as soon as the tide began to turn, and once they used all their moves, they just Bone Rushed into their own turret, got some quick heals, and that was just enough to send Dexter the other way. And now the fight's breaking out. Wereton, Dexter finally joins the fray, and Dreadnought is just getting chipped out a little bit as Lutano hides in the grass, buying their time, decides, Wereton, no, back off a little bit. Let me get with my team. Rolls down. Maybe they're hatching a little bit of a plan, as nobody's really getting into Dreadnought. It retreats back to its starting spot, and it's fully healed up. Nobody's down yet, and nobody's really engaging too hard. Xavier G kicks off the action with a heavy slam down south. First is caught, and now it's just a melee down there as Lutano rolls down. Lutano goes down. Wereton still up. Xavier G in first went down for the end, but they're trying to make their way back. Gosu is about to go down, and so is Dexter, just able to slide back into their turret and stay up as Goof GG, the Cramorant on the side of Luv Deez, a great damage output option. It goes down, and they're trying to get back into the fray. Lutano rolling down, and they're watching this thing happen. And Dreadnaught's at half health, and they all have to kind of get in there and catch up. Carvenin doing their best to do some damage, and now a big power-up punch and a bone rush here, targeting down Dexter, going to try to take them out of the equation. Wow. They do. First is getting bullied now. They kind of get stuck on the rocks there with not a lot of pressure going on. Lutano and Goof GG steps into the action, and a power-up punch straight through the Dreadnought. Actually ends up getting plucked by a quick little kick by Carvenin, but you can't think that that power-up punch didn't do a considerable amount of the weightlifting there, as now the Bees all get snatched up by Luv Deez. Their experience disparity is going up. And first, Xavier G, and I think it was Werdian all getting pushed back. Lutano's got their Unite move, but they're saying, nah, I'm just going to get onto this Audino as I'm going to take a breath.
That was an absolutely incredible fight for Dreadnought there. Both teams really contesting it very heavily. Both Snorlaxes going down, but the remainder of the teams were healthy enough and defensive enough to stay in the conversation and wait for the reload of the Lax and more blocks coming in and more defensive options here. Lutano bullying the Snorlax here, even in his own side of the field here. Going to get blocked out of it that little bit, but is potentially able to get some scores in. No, just going to go ahead and steal some more Dino action here, as looks like top lane is again where the action's at, but Lutano defending aggressively here.
Lutano just all over Xavier G, is able to take both berries from them and keep the Snorlax from, using that their static ability that leads to them eating berries. And Xavier G getting pretty froggy in here with those heavy slams, really wanting to put the pressure on Lutano, but just a moment too late as Carvenin and the whole rest of the Luv Deez crew besides Zugrug rolls down, and that forces Xavier G to retreat. And you've got to think that puts Werdian in first in a pretty susceptible spot if Luv Deez elected to push. They say, no, we're fine. Let's just keep getting. Let's not feed them any KOs. Let's get our own experience. And now Lutano goes back up top, and they're going to say, time to farm.
Yeah, Lutano wasn't able to unload there, which is a bit of a shame because he's one of the best accumulators of points, especially how they play together in this team. So a bit awkward for him, but outside of that, still Luv Deez coming out fairly well there, able to destroy the first turret of the game. And now we're seeing Lutano once again just zoning, protecting on his own, as the remainder of the team are going to gather their resources down bottom as Dreadnought has reappeared.
Yeah, Lutano doing a great job leashing against Dexter away from where I imagine Dexter wants to be, which is with that Dreadnought. Lutano, great use of the Bone Rush, putting the pressure on. And Dexter seeing the opening, trying to get some points in for themselves. I don't think they got any in, as now Dexter is sent to flee. So not only are they not in the equation down south, they're kind of getting bodied all over the top part of this map here. And now Lutano is just beating him up, and puts the race on him. Unite move goes wide.
The Unite move as well. That is so important, actually. That could have been a huge KO. If Lutano does get that knockout there, it's about 80-point swing because he's able to score immediately. And there's so much just waiting around there that he can capitalize even more. As it does look like Luv Deez was able to claim the Dreadnought once again. You can see the shield up on the Lucario now, allowing Lutano to play that little bit more aggressively and once again deal with the Bees and continue to contest here. As Dexter didn't want to give up the amount of free points that are around the table. You can definitely see why Lutano just keeping him in check, saying, you know what, if you want me to score the 100, I'll go and do it if you want that Dreadnought that badly.
It's hard to tell who is truly in the lead on the scoreboard here, as we haven't seen a lot of dunks across the board. We do have one turret down bottom right on the end side of the board here, as Lutano's just going to sit there and they're going to knife through with a power-up punch and take that Rotom, send it down the lane. And now switching the focus of the end onto that, as Lutano's just going to heal up a little bit. We're under the 2-minute mark. Zapdos is here. Nobody's even made a move. I say that, of course, Luv Deez rolls down, and they're probably just going to frame up a little bit of a defense and say, I think we're ahead. It's on Zapdos now. You got to make a move. And Lutano's got to be thinking, I got to get my Unite move back up.
And Lutano does very well to survive there. I think giving up the 50 points is worse than giving up the turret here. Well, 100 points, actually, where the Cinderace is going to go ahead and score. I think Lucario also to get a goal in there as well, potentially for the end. But I still feel like he can be a little bit ahead as distraction goes down to the mid section here. Possibly still a chance for him to finally get some points in.
Yeah, you got to think that everybody on Luv Deez is in Lutano's ear. We're good. Go get those points. And that's exactly what Lutano does. Gets a 100 burger on their side of the board too. And now they're joining the fight. And the Cramorant Goof GG just goes down as we're speaking. Carvenin goes down, and Lutano joins the fray, and they're going to try to make a difference. They take care of first very quickly. And they're going to make a move here. And a big Unite move there from Lutano. I don't think it got anybody, though. As they're trying to retreat, they're getting pushed back. But every moment they're pushed back, that's one less moment that Zapdos is getting touched. 40 seconds left, and Zapdos is clean. And now Werdian and Gosu, easy peasy, Dexter, they're trying to roll up, and they're trying to take down the Zapdos as quick as possible. But I'm not too sure they're going to be able to convert, even if they do get it. Lutano coming in, they take down Werdian, and they send Gosu scrambling, and that Zapdos still has about a third of its health left. Xavier G downstairs, they're getting pushed, and first, just a big power-up punch, and Lutano elects to not chase, maybe misses with the Bone Rush there, and decides this is my time. Power-up punch chase on first. A little bit of a frost breath there by first, and Carvenin just sitting in the grass takes care of first, the Alolan Ninetales, and that is the timer. As you see, all of the end was wiped. 189 to 180. Just a squeak through, and we thought that 100 on each side was kind of, Lutano brought parity with the 100 on their own side, but that first one was like, oh, is that a 50? No, it's 100. Zapdos is already here, and that maybe shifted priorities a little bit. Lutano able to even it up and put him up by 9, as no points were really scored in that last minute 30.
Yeah, Luv Deez played as if they were ahead, so it was very close. It was just a 9-point gap, but I think they were confident that they were ahead. And when you see it that close, it's actually quite surprising that they took that risk. But the way they played that Zapdos, I feel like they were the ones trying to defend it that little bit more and, again, run down the clock rather than just commit to the Zapdos and actually go ahead and score for themselves. Lucario actually wanted to get involved in the fight rather than reload on points and go ahead and rescore, which would have been the play if you're sort of defending and trying to re-catch up on points. Let other people focus on Zapdos while there's those points to easily mop up on top lane that is being completely undefended. So by the looks of things, Luv Deez had things under control, and in the end, they were right to think it because they just about squeaked out that victory.
It's amazing how you can feel how strongly you're winning, even though you can't see the scoreboard. They must have thought, wow, we got both Dreadnoughts. We sent both Rotoms down the lane. We're higher levels across the board, almost unanimously higher levels across the board. And really, it was just a 9-point difference, but maybe all of those factors maybe gave them a little bit stronger sense of security going into that final Zapdos. And the end maybe is feeling the same thing. Maybe they were feeling a little frazzled, a little on the back foot, thinking they needed to make some home run based plays when really they could have maybe strategically gone in and scored some points, maybe back-ended some points in, and that would have been just enough to put them over the edge. I mean, you only needed to be sitting on 5 Aeons to be able to dunk those in and steal the win. So it's so interesting how the other aspects of the game leading up to that final 2 minutes can really change your perspective of how things are going on. That being said, Luv Deez, your Victory Road Pokemon Unite champions, a dispatching of over 250 other teams, over 1,000 players, and they rise to the top. Cream always does. And they're going home with a little bit of money and the satisfaction. They just took down the first big global Pokemon Unite tournament.
Yeah, putting themselves on the map, immortalizing themselves as the first ever victors of a Unite tournament is such a great feeling for them. I'm really excited to see how they progress through these other tournaments. There's obviously been balance patches since this series as well, so these are things to keep in mind. Will they be making any changes to their team, or are they going to continue as they are? And will their strategies be developing? Because, of course, this sets the marker now. This shows you how you should be trying to navigate these games. People will be analyzing this and studying it, and how to play Lucario, how to be playing the Snorlax, how to be playing all of these different characters, and how that develops is going to be a really important thing to note, because Unite is a simple game at its core, but there is so many micro decisions and complexities here to gain an advantage in such a short space of time that it's really going to have to be micromanaged very, very carefully. And Luv Deez seems to have it down so far to an exact science.
Well, they certainly have the right equation for this weekend as they're able to take down the tournament. Just want to take a quick moment and give a big shout out to Victory Road for putting on the event. And of course, we will be here on behalf of Unite Mics to bring you more commentary action. Kirk, doobsnax, Dubé, again, alongside Joe, OmniJoe, Bernard. We'll catch you at the next one.